Hi, friends. Today we are here with Mr. David Weiss from flatearthdave.com. He is one of the best known flat earth proponents and truth seekers in the world. You can find him on flatearthdave.com. That's where you also can find his amazing app called Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock, where you can get all the informations about the flat earth. And if you have any doubt left about the shape of the world, you will have no doubts after this app. This app also has a lot of other amazing features, which they will tell you more about later on in the video. So, hi, Dave.
Hey, Nino, I wish we had done this interview yesterday because yesterday NASA invited me onto a rocket ship and I am now on the space station and I can clearly see that the Earth is a globe.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really convincing that the Earth is the globe.
This is just as good as theirs, by the way, just as good. And they get $80
Yeah,
million a day. I get zero. It took me 2 minutes to do this. 2 minutes.
yeah,
All
with
right.
no budget.
With zero budget, zero.
Even
I,
what I like even more is the one with the solar panel in the yard.
yes, that was a good one.
Like you didn't even need CGI or whatever it is behind
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I filmed the sky and it looks like the Earth from space. And I convinced
Yeah,
these NASA guys that it was. Then I just turned it upside down and showed that it was just the upside down sky. It's
yeah,
crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
it was
Amazing.
nuts.
They have such a large budget and they still show us this bad CGI. Sometimes I think that they want us to find out that they are faking it.
Absolutely. I believe that they have a requirement to tell us. It's called revelation of the method, where
Right.
so they don't break our free will. They always let us know. They always give us if we use our God given common sense, that we can figure it out. But if we don't, that's on us. That's our fault.
It's
God
our
put us
fault.
here with incredible senses, incredible understanding.
Yeah.
You don't need people say, oh, flat earthers, they're so dumb. That's not true at all. But you don't need to be smart to be a flat earther. You just have to have a little bit of common sense, a little bit.
Especially nowadays, where you
Yeah.
see that everything is fake, with all these fake things happening, fake assassinations, for whatever. You see it's so obvious. I mean, back in the days where they faked the moon landings, it was harder for people to find out because you watch the TV, you have two or three channels, and they tell you it happened and you believe them. But nowadays, I mean, it's changed a lot. And I don't understand why people don't want to let go of these false beliefs. Like they feel like they are losing something. Like
This
it's a
is
small ego debt.
this is the background I use with the Globers. And I'm like, why don't we see any land? And they're making up excuses. Oh, I can see curvature, but it's really just an upside down picture with a solar panel.
That's so easy. That I
No
mean,
budget. No budget at all. No budget at
yeah.
all.
But people somehow they don't want to open their eyes, and I don't know why do they feel this cognitive dissonance so bad that they need to judge other people that see the truth, the obvious truth.
I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
It's because they've learned how to control the human mind. Everything from commercials, movies, kids shows to school, everything, books. They use this to mold society to where they want them. Right? It's just literally indoctrination. But people say, "Oh, flat earthers, you guys are science deniers," and we're like, "No, we actually use the scientific method." Now, I don't know if you know anything about the politics in the United States, but did you know that I used to be president of the United States? I was president. I really was. I was president. Now, I don't know how old you are, but you have what we call a conscious screen, your conscious mind. And over life experiences, it makes a web and it just keeps adding things, and those holes get smaller and smaller and smaller. And you have enough life experience to go, oh, that's BS. That's nonsense. That's not true. And when you stored it, you remember what I said? I said I was president of the United States, but it's false. And you don't feel the need to look into it any further because you've, through your life experience in a microsecond, determined that is false. No need to verify, right?
Yeah.
But you go to a 5-year-old that's in school, his teacher's a god, the books would never lie, and they tells them, no, Dave Weiss, he was president of the United States. They're like, okay, they take down their notes. It's now stored as a truthful memory from a reliable source. But later in life, they're seeing documentaries and stuff, and they show, look, that's right. I've learned that in first grade. That Dave Weiss is president, and there he is in this other documentary. So now you have that hole just got smaller. When someone says Dave Weiss wasn't president, you're like, wait a minute. I have proof he was president. I saw this picture in a documentary. And so,
repeatedly.
Yeah, through life, you keep seeing stuff in books and movies about Dave Weiss being president, and you believe it. You're 30, 40, 50 years old, and someone goes, was Dave Weiss president? You're like, absolutely, yes. No need to verify because it's stored as personal information. But someone says Dave Weiss was never president, you go back to the day that you learned that Dave Weiss was president, or learned, or were told, or were indoctrinated, and you literally start arguing from that age mentality, from that age maturity. You argue like a 5-year-old. So your whole life is built up around this globe lie, and crashing that down means a lot of work up here. You have to rework everything. And people don't like work. Yeah, sorry. People don't like work. People don't like school because school is nonsense. Right? Did you like history class in school?
I mean, not really.
Yeah, because deep down inside, you knew that everything they were teaching you is a lie. Everything
They
is a
even
lie.
told us that the winners write the history, but we put it on the side, like, yeah, whatever, but they cannot lie. Like, they're writing the history, but they don't lie. And now we find out that everything is a lie.
When they tell us that Christopher Columbus discovered America, when he got here, the Native American Indians were here in Buffalo, and we learn all about that stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you that in all the textbooks that were before 1910, all the older textbooks talk about a very advanced civilization that was here in ruins, and the Indians.
But they are showing us cowboys and wild west.
But in the textbooks in the early 1900s, they were talking about that, but now they don't even mention it to kids, right? I never heard about it until recently. And so they're hiding our true history because they need everything to be on this specific timeline and for us to believe it so we can feed the system. We're in this spiritual war that people don't even know exists. And that's how you win a spiritual war, when people don't even know that it's happening. So
of course.
So they're and so people say, Dave, with all the war and famine and child missing children and all the stuff that's going on in this world, what does the shape of the earth have to do with it matter? Well, it's not the shape, it's the lie, it's the foundation of your world belief. It's the foundation of your understanding.
Other fears that we have come from the idea that we live on the globe. Like overpopulation, like global warming, like that any second can big rock fall on our planet and destroy us, and many, many other things like resources and stuff like that. Like that all comes from the belief that we live on the globe. And plus, of course, the globe kills our spirituality, because if you believe in the globe, most of the times you will believe in evolution, I don't know, dinosaurs, and that we are really just a speck of dust somewhere in space. So that we don't have any significance.
The globe lie pulls you away from God. So for the globe, the heliocentric model, everything, gravity is their God. Without gravity, the entire heliocentric, globe model doesn't exist. The only thing gravity pulls is you farther away from God, right? There is no, gravity is just a theory. People say, well, why do things go down? Well, we know why things go up and down because of electrostatics, buoyancy, and density. That's
Yeah.
scientifically proven,
Yeah.
but gravity is just a theory. And I do these TikTok lives all the time, and we invite globers to come up, defend your globe religion. We say, defend your globe religion, and
Yeah.
and sometimes they bring cartoons to go with that, and sometimes they don't even have anything. But if we say to them, do you believe the earth is a globe? As they come onto the panel, and they go, absolutely 100%. Like, oh, 100%. Great. What's the radius? What's the circumference? How far is it from the sun? How fast is it spinning?
They don't know a thing.
They don't know any of it. I go, so you're defending something that you don't know about. Now tell me about flat earth, right? They don't even understand what flat earth is. So they're arguing on something they are ignorant. Does that translate?
Yeah.
Ignorant. Translate. They're something that they're very ignorant to. And, ignorance isn't a bad word. It just means you don't know. You don't know. Like, I'm ignorant to what country you're in because I totally forgot. What country are you in?
I'm from Serbia.
Serbia. Are you in Serbia now?
I'm not.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
in Vienna right now, Austria.
Okay. Well, there you go. Now I'm not ignorant to the fact that now I have a belief. I have a belief that what you're telling me is true, and I'm not going to bother verifying it.
I can be in America,
Yeah, you
yeah.
could be anywhere. So again, belief is the enemy of knowing. Belief is the lazy man's knowing, because you have to. We live in a world where we need to trust that if you had to verify every single thing that was ever said to you, you would never get
Oh,
anywhere. So
exhausting,
you
yeah.
have to just like, okay, I believe that. Like, I'm looking at you, I'm like, why would he lie? He's got that accent. I looked at his channel,
But
and so I believe it.
but earlier it was innocent until proven guilty. But now, after all the lies, it's for normal people, it's guilty until proven innocent. Like we were lied to so many times that we cannot trust anything anymore.
Yeah,
And it's a chaos. And if you believe in astrology or something like that, they say it was age of Pisces, like the age of belief. And now we are getting into Aquarius, where we tend to know more and everything. I mean, just to connect the dots.
right.
How it felt for you to wake up to flat Earth?
To wake up to flat Earth.
Yeah,
So I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, where we were looking into all of the other conspiracies, all of the other major events, 9/11, the Boston bombing, the
yeah, yeah.
7/7 attacks in the UK, and everything else. And all of these things are provably not what they say. And then people started throwing in, hey, have you looked into flat Earth? First, I thought it was a joke. We all have the same story. Then I banned people from our social media for just being too stupid, right? For even suggesting that I look into it. But then my friend Sophia Smallstorm, who is another great researcher, she forced me to look. And I went in trying to disprove it, not to look for the truth. I went in to disprove it. I'm like, Earth is obviously a globe, and I'm just going to disprove this. And that's how you become a flat earther. When you try to look at the facts of the globe and realize there are none, and you look at the facts of flat earth and there's an ample amount of them, you have no choice but to understand that we live in a God created, level, non rotating, horizontal, stationary plane.
And did it change you? Like, did it have the
100%.
spiritual
Everything
effect?
changed in my life. Everything changed in my life.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know,
you're a flat Earth Dave now.
yeah, that's crazy. And I talk about the Bible. I was atheist globe Dave, right?
Yeah.
And it's absolutely amazing. Like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, if you told me that I'd be doing this now, I'd say you have no idea what you're talking about. But I had my own very successful company, and with a couple partners, and I walked away from the whole thing to spread this message. Why? Because this message is the most important message of the world. Because all of the other deceptions out there are based on you being lost in space, disconnected from God, or
Yeah.
lightly connected to a deluded God. Um,
Yes.
and it makes a difference. So why do I do this? I do this for myself. I do this for my kids. I do this for everybody. I do this because if everybody wakes up to the truth of our world, we'll take back our power, and all of the control system, the mind control, the govern control meant the mind, government, they'll all just fade away. They'll all be gone.
Yeah.
I think that time is coming very soon. I think the world is about to go through a major change, and all change is very painful. But if you have your head in the right place, if your heart is in the right place, if you don't feed the system with fear, you'll just come out just fine on the other side.
Yeah, that's right. And I think we are on the peak of craziness with all the crazy stuff happening in the world and everything. But I think it has to happen for the world to change. So, yeah, that's
It
how it is.
it
And
is
what do you think
happening.
when it all started? Like, I'm 100% sure all the stories with Eratosthenes and stuff like that, it's all fabricated. First time we heard about Eratosthenes was in the 19th century, I think.
Right.
And
He figured out the size of the circle Earth with so many problems with that story, but for 2,000 years, and then there was many mathematicians that came out that wrote many books that came out of that same area, and no one ever mentioned him until the 1900s.
yeah,
That's great.
that's when they invented him. I'm 100%
Oh,
sure.
100%. Galileo, everybody, they invented all. I don't think any of these guys existed. Napoleon Bonaparte, everything.
Yeah,
It's all,
me neither.
and do you know the famous saying, the world is just a stage and we're just players on the stage by Shakespeare?
Yeah.
William Shakespeare, the guy that said the world's a stage, wasn't even a real person.
Yeah, I
So,
heard
so yeah,
there were many guys.
yeah. So the guy that said the world's a stage is a stage character on that world stage.
Of course, of course. I mean, all these stories, and for example, Plato. 800 years later, we have Plato, who has the same ideology, has the same teacher with same characteristics and everything. They just duplicated it on back in time and invented the ancient Greece, ancient Rome, even ancient Egypt. It's all staged.
Yeah.
People
The,
are talking about aliens building the pyramids and everything, but they never talk about pyramids being built maybe much later, like in
right.
17th, 18th, or 19th century, which
Right.
is truth.
The Grand Canyon here in the United States has Egyptian caves in it, with like underground Egyptian structures in the
Yeah,
Grand
yeah, yeah,
Canyon.
yeah.
Right. And we're told that just the Colorado River carved out the canyon. Bull crap. Bull crap.
Who knows? Maybe even those things are faked over there, so we can talk now about it, like speculate and everything. Even we all enjoyed watching Ancient Aliens
I
and
love
everything.
that show, and now it's just
Yeah,
nonsense.
me too. And
Instead
they
of
always show us the globe flying around. Sometimes they mention hollow Earth, but they never ever in one episode of the show the flat Earth, and or maybe said that it's possibly flat. Never.
Never,
Hollow maybe
because it
round, of
it
course.
is it is a show to keep people trapped on the ball. Aliens, moon missions, all of this stuff is to keep people believing they live on a ball, and it's important. On my app, on the old world page, if you hit the Tataria button, it shows
Mhm.
there's. I'm sure you've looked into Tataria in the old world.
Yeah.
One of my favorite channels is My Lunch Break. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, My Lunch Break. We'll start watching that stuff, and there's some really great stuff. Another one is I'm the Improbable Dreamer right here. Jake, he's amazing. I just did an interview with him. His stuff is fantastic. He's on Instagram
Yeah.
and TikTok a lot, and but so much information here. And like if flat Earth is too much for you, start here because it'll blow
With
your
this one.
mind. And then flat Earth will be a layup.
Yeah, yeah. At least about forbidden technology, how they
Yeah,
were healing with frequencies and everything, what they don't do today anymore.
yeah,
I would
absolutely.
also recommend, which is really important for people, maybe to check out Anatoly Fomenko.
Yep.
He is a Russian mathematician who wrote a lot of books on false history, but like how we have time added to the history and the story about Tataria in other way.
Have you heard of Tataria Empire? There's a guy from Scandinavia or somewhere. I'm actually interviewing him in an hour after we're done here.
All right.
He's got some great stuff. But talk about energy and stuff. This is out of Mexico. These are friends of mine make this stuff. This is It's a Tesla coil, Tesla technology, and it literally is doing incredible things. It's de-aging people. It separates all your blood cells. It makes your inflammation go down. And some of the side effects are, hey, that disease that they told you was going to kill you no longer exists in your body, right?
Yeah. Because it's all about the frequency.
Yeah, it's all about the frequency. It's absolutely amazing. I actually have it right behind this screen right here.
Yeah. You know, Tesla was a Serbian.
I do know that, yes. Well, that's what they say. That's what they say. Maybe he was a Tatarian that lived in Serbia.
Yeah, but it happened a bit later. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at that time, all these countries were together, Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia, but they split us apart like they do with everything, you know, just to make us weaker. So
Yeah.
now we hate each other. I mean, we don't really hate each other. My wife is Croatian, but you know, they're pushing these stories in media. So people still live in this fear of the
Well,
war or something like that. But children don't care about it anymore.
yeah.
They don't care. New generation is coming. New world is coming.
Well, it's all planned. I mean, they told General, I forget the guy, but right after 9/11, they told us, he said he heard a briefing where he named all the countries that the United States were going to attack. And I think the final one was Iran. So we're literally at that final step right now. And let me ask you a question. You know,
Yeah.
here in America, nobody has ever said, oh, those damn Iranians are really threatening us. Nobody even thinks about Iran ever, right? Iran has never attacked another country in like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
You know, like 200 or 300 years. And then when they did, it was because they were attacked or something. You know, it's like, and people just fall for this nonsense.
Yeah.
It's
Do you believe
incredible.
that the president of Iran is really murdered with his children and grandchildren and stuff like that?
I doubt it. And also, you know, Netanyahu, he disappeared off the scene, and that the last 4 videos were provably AI. I think they want us to believe it.
Of course.
I hope it's true, but I don't know. I don't know. But here's the thing. It's all staged. Now, on that stage, there's people that know that they're on a stage, and the other people that are innocent bystanders that are just like, oh yeah, I'm in this mess. So
Yeah.
when you hear, oh, Netanyahu, for 3 decades is like, Iran is 2 weeks away or 2 months away from getting a nuke. And then 5 years later, like they're 3 weeks away. And then 5 years later, like they're going to have a nuke any day now. And boom, boom.
Such a shit show.
Yeah, just, it's incredible. And then like, but here's the trick. Do you know that nukes don't exist?
Yeah. I'm
Right.
sure they don't exist.
And for people that don't know that, I want you to take a look at this video here, not that video,
Okay.
this video. All right, so here we have, now I want you to notice these clouds here, these 4 clouds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this nuke just goes off. Nukes atomize everything, including clouds. Right? So this is from the U.S. military. Now, what can you determine from this? That, look, the clouds are still there. I'm going to compare them side by side. Side by side. Clouds are still there. So what does that tell you? It tells you that this nuclear explosion is completely fake. It's not even a big bomb. It's fake. Why would they fake it if it was real? Therefore, it came from the U.S. military. Nukes are fake. And then if you look into the history of it on my website, flatearthdave.com, if you go down to the bottom of the page, there's a nuke banner. It says nuke hoax. Listen to the 2 or 3 shows there by Crow 777 Radio, and you will know that nukes are fake. So now that you know nukes are fake, if you're watching the news, which I highly recommend nobody ever does, the news gives you cancer. But they're like, oh, this and that, and you know the Israel's going to nuke the world. Well, as soon as you hear someone say nuke, you can picture them with a red clown nose and a colorful clown wig on because they're just clowns.
You know it's fake.
Right.
Yeah.
And so think about this. In school, when I was a kid, you're younger and you weren't here in America, but they taught us about the nuke threat, and they'd pull an alarm like a nuke bomb's going off, and we'd all have to get underneath our desks. Underneath our little kitty school desks is going to protect us from a nuclear bomb. No, it's not just conditioning. It's fear. It's putting
Yeah,
fear in us. Do you know about Loosh energy?
yeah,
Yeah, so demons feed on Loosh energy. Demons run this world, and they want us in fear. They don't care what side of what argument we take. Oh, I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm for the war. I'm against the war. The earth is flat. The earth is not flat. This football team versus this football team. They want us fighting,
fear
producing
fighting.
this
Yeah,
Loosh energy because
that's why
they
when
feed
they
off of that
talk,
energy.
yeah, when they talk about one world government, I think it's a hoax too. They don't want one world government because then who are they gonna fight against? Like they want us in this condition, like right now, but constantly fighting and thinking that they are preparing the one world government, but they don't really want it. There is already one world government because we see it's all staged. So who are they staging it with? You know, why didn't Russia say that they didn't land on the moon? Why didn't Russia say that everything with COVID and stuff was
They're all in
fake?
it together. They're all together. Right. We're
Yeah,
fighting all these wars, but we all get together on the International Fake Station. That's no problem. We all agree on the Antarctic Treaty. Nobody can independently explore
yeah,
Antarctica. And we all agree that everyone has to become a human pincushion in 2020 for the thing that if you breathe on grandma, she's going to die. Right. That is just, it's coordinated, and
yeah.
it's a spiritual war that we're in. And if you don't
Only
believe in a
opposition.
spiritual war, you can't win.
Yeah, we are the only opposition, free people that are waking up.
The good news is they need us to create their world. If we
Of
see
course.
through the matrix, we no longer energize it.
Yeah.
So the opposite of Louch, fear, is love, right? So here's the thing. They've converted this world. They've literally destroyed this world. We're living in a post-apocalyptic world where they are harvesting Loosh. They're farmers. They're farming us for this Loosh energy because they need this Loosh energy. If you don't give them the Loosh, if like this bad thing happens, then this bad thing happens, usually one crisis in your life goes away and another one comes in. That's all by design in the system to keep you feeding them. You watch a horror movie or a scary movie, and you dream about it night after night after night after night, putting out this Loosh energy. If you don't participate, if you don't watch the scary movies, if you don't watch the news, if you don't buy into this stuff, if you understand your true power, you stop giving Loosh energy. And guess what? The demons don't care about you
They
because
leave you alone. They
they're
leave you
efficient
alone.
farmers. They don't want to bother with you because you're not feeding them,
Yeah.
right? You're not feeding them. Let's say you're a fisherman and there's one area of the lake where none of the fish, there's tons of fish there, but they never bite the hook. And the other side of the lake, there's fish that bite the hook. Okay. Where are you going to go fishing? You're
Where
going
they
to
are
go over
biting.
there. You're going to leave the other ones alone
Of
because they're
course.
not falling for the bullshit.
Yeah. I saw it also with vaccinations. You know, we don't vaccinate our daughter. I have a little child.
Careful. Just don't say that word again. It's okay. It's
Sorry,
just on
sorry.
YouTube, the
We can
censorship.
beep it or whatever.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't even bother. It's all right. Just use a different word. But, and your daughter,
Yeah, they were telling a story.
healthy as hell,
Healthy. Yeah.
smart as a whip, right?
How
Right?
do you
It's
know?
incredible because they never did a study on, there has been studies, but not official published studies that fully unveed children, adults, don't get the C word, don't get that thing. They're so much healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All these children that are IV'd, they are the ones going to the hospital every month with fever and everything, and the other ones are healthy.
I was just I was just at I went to an old age home. They had a little formal event. My mother-in-law is there, and there's a new guy there. He is a mortician, an embalmer. He embalms dead. He does autopsies, right?
Yeah.
When people die, and I asked him about blood clots, and he said in the last couple of years, blood clots are 10,000% more common and bigger. 10,000%. But he's totally asleep. He has no correlation to what happened in 2020, 2021, 2022. He doesn't
Oh,
see the correlation with that. He thinks that it's drug use. A lot of kids are
food
dying
and cigarettes and
heart
stuff like that.
attacks. Kids are having heart attacks. When I was a kid, no kid ever had a heart attack,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's incredible. And they just throw all this stuff out at us, throw all this stuff out of us, out at
Yeah.
us.
And
About
after what happened with the pandemic, I don't understand people that didn't wake up and didn't find out what's going on. Like they're totally asleep.
totally asleep. It's incredible. 10, 15 years ago, I was talking to my friend again, Sophia Smallstorm. I think we were on a podcast, and she said that the elite are trying to normalize pedophilia. I'm like, that'll never happen. Okay, that'll never happen. She said
Yeah.
they're all going to also normalize cannibalism. I'm like, that will never happen. It's impossible. Now we're making jokes about pedophilia and cannibalism, right? It's incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
They're making jokes on
Yeah.
really biggest shows in the world. And people are laughing, or some people are judging them, but they still continue to do it.
So I came up with a joke, but I realized it wasn't a joke. Want to hear it?
Yeah.
Do you eat meat?
I mean, I'm trying not to, but
Well,
yeah,
okay,
we can
I
say,
eat
I don't
meat. I eat
know.
meat. I eat meat.
Yeah.
So when you eat meat, though, do you eat bear or coyote? You don't because it's gamey because they're meat eaters. You eat animals that are vegetarian. You eat
Yeah.
cows that eat grass, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
taste better, right? It tastes better. It doesn't taste gamey.
Yeah.
So why do the elite push veganism? Why do they want more vegans? Because they taste better.
Oh my God.
Now, I
Oh my
thought
God.
that was a joke, but I
Uh,
don't think it is a joke.
yeah.
Right?
Makes
So,
sense.
so again, normalization is coming. Normalization is here. It's happening. Just
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
showing, keep showing. They keep doing that.
We are
Pornography is
desensitized.
normalized. It's
Yeah.
unbelievably damaging, but it's
We are totally
normalized.
desensitized. We don't care about anything anymore. Like
Right.
even when they do these hoaxes and false flags, it's like in news for 2 days. Like it's a big thing for 2 days,
Kids
and
are,
then they have to continue to make new thing and new things and new things and new things, and nobody cares anymore.
yeah, kids are so desensitized to pornography that they can't have normal relationships. And that's part of the depopulation. I mean, they're
Of
literally trying
course,
to depopulate the world. It's incredible. And as you said, event after event after event, um, it's called, me,
Loosh farming, distraction.
it's information saturation. And when you become too saturated, you kind of just cut off like, okay, this happened. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. But now this happened and you forget about all of those. Now you're just like
Yeah.
focusing on this one thing because you have information overload. They're overloading us so we can't even process what's
What's
going
good
on.
and what's real
Yeah.
and what's not.
And and
Like,
and because of all those things that we pushed out of the way and we haven't resolved, that sits in us emotionally and we extrude loose energy. Right?
yeah.
There's a new movie that just came out called it's Ryan Gosling. It just came out about space. It's called I don't even know what it's called, but it's a story about all our sun is dying and all the stars in the solar system are dying except one of them isn't dying, and they want to send this guy there to find out why it's not dying to save our sun to stop humanity from dying, right?
All
So
right.
kids love this. Kids love Ryan Gosling, handsome guy, right? He's big superstar here in America, probably worldwide. But kids watch this movie, and for the rest of the year, they are going to dream every night about the destruction of the world and everybody dying. Even though it was a good hero story, he's trying to save the world, but that is
Still,
inside them. So all night they're producing Loosh, fresh Loosh from children. It's the
yeah.
most delicious, they say.
And yeah, of course, and because they're pure,
Yeah.
and yeah, and they are also showing the globe all the time, to those kids. Like they make it even deeper for them.
Yeah.
But now, when we are waking up, they're trying to place us in virtual worlds as much as they can as well. So we don't look in up in the sky. So we don't get out of our house.
Why do they put a classroom full of globes? You know, that's like the first thing you learn in school here in America is about the globe. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy. Globes. It's just like
everywhere.
everywhere. That's because it separates you from God. If you understand that the earth is flat, you have no choice but to understand there's a God. And then that changes your life. It changed my life.
Yeah,
It changed
and
my
it
life.
connects you deeper to holy books, as we
Yeah.
can say, if you practice any religion or something like that, because it makes a conflict in you when you believe in the globe and then you read the holy scriptures or something like that, and then you say, yeah, I believe in God, but still they explain to us that we are monkeys, and it's proven that we live on the globe and that we are nothing floating in space like speck of dust, as I said.
Well, here's the thing. You know, they tell us it whenever, I forget who said it. I forget whoever said it. It said, if the people need a hero, shall supply them a hero. So
I think Stalin or so.
yeah, somebody, yeah. But
Yeah.
so nobody's coming to save us, sort of. Together, we are a collective, connected people. They don't want us to know that. And if we all wake up collectively, that's our savior. We literally can save ourselves by not creating the world that they want. They want us to create this world that is, you know, just keeps us on this Loosh farm. The trick is stop feeding the archons. We are these amazing connected people, right? We're connected. The whole world was connected. The energy. I don't think back in the Tatarian times they even ate food. I didn't think they needed food because we were all living off of this vibration, this energy of the earth. The
Yeah.
old bells. You look into the old bells everywhere. Frequency. All of that's been taken out, and they
World
literally
War II.
yeah. And then they literally put a globe over our head and said, this is it. This is where you live.
Yeah.
And it's a place of fear. Fear, loose energy. This is
And
a
we
spiritual war.
descended in consciousness rapidly after
Yes.
that.
Right. Do you guys have the movie Idiocracy there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
know that.
So it used to be a comedy movie, but now it's a documentary.
Yeah, it happens with
Because
many
it's
movies, Truman Show and stuff like that, you
well,
know?
that was always a documentary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and then the Matrix, that's another documentary. But it's an analogy of what's going on. We are these human energy cells. The people that run the world, the demons that run the world, feed off of that. Let me tell you a story that I told this on a couple podcasts recently, but I'll tell it to your audience.
Remember when the Flat Earth awakening first began, and the globe defenders would laugh and say, "Good luck finding a job. Nobody will hire a flat earther." But something incredible happened. People started trusting their own eyes, their own senses, and their own ability to think. Millions began questioning the narrative. Millions began waking up. And now many of us realize something important. We don't just want to just know some critical thinkers. We want to work with them too. So we created something new, introducing the jobs board on the Flat Earth Clock app, a place where critical thinkers can hire and be hired by other critical thinkers. Right now, there are only a handful of jobs listed by awake people getting things started. But watch it grow throughout the year. You might find the perfect employee or the perfect job. The future is being built by people who think for themselves. Are you a blue dot?
Hmm.
So I was at Anarchapulco in Mexico, which is a big truth conference, and there was a shaman there, and he told me the story of in Bali. In Bali, the natives there believe that demons live underneath Bali. Okay,
All right.
cool belief. Every year, the demons would used to torture the people all the time. Just all things happen all the time. And so the ancient people there made a deal with the demons that once a year they'll hold a celebration for the demons, a demonic celebration with devils and just this demonic. You can look it up. They still do it today. So they have this demonic celebration. And it's hard to find the information on what really goes on there, but eyewitnesses will tell you that they do sacrifice some animals and some children go missing. Maybe they just got misplaced and lost their parents, right? But, and then everybody goes home, everyone goes back to their hotels, and they turn off the power on all of Bali for 24 hours, and no one is allowed to make any noise. Because the demons come out of the ground and feed on all of the Loosh. I guess Loosh is like an oil spill. It just stays there and until somebody comes up and gets it. So when you, if you yell at a plant, you're throwing Loosh energy at that plant and the plant's going to suffer. Right?
Yeah.
So
of course. I made this test, experiment.
Yeah. So, and then the demons go away, the power goes back on, and the place lives demonically free. Cool deal, right? That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Look it up. You'll see that they do this. It's really absolutely amazing. Yeah.
I mean, this energy definitely exists. When I said I did the experiment, I did it with white rice. You know about that?
The rice experiment, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and it really worked.
Yeah.
So you can also see it in this cartoon if you know Monsters. I think it's called Monsters or something like
Monsters,
that.
Inc. It's the story about that they feed off the fear of the children.
Yeah.
They tell us it's revelation of the method. They tell us.
Of course. As long as we are in fear and going away from love, we are weak. We are weaker. They feed off of it.
10 years ago, if you said, Dave, you're going to be able to send love to the people that are attacking you, the people that are the worst people in your life. And absolutely, I have no hate for anybody, right? I look at it as a challenge. It's again, we're in this video game. Life is like a video game, right? You ever play like a shoot 'em up video game? Like, a video game with monsters. So you go in there and everyone's shooting at you and they're trying to kill you and you're running around. You're having a great time. What if you went into that video game and nobody shot at you?
It would be boring.
It would be boring as hell.
That's why we come here in the physical world.
As Darius J. Wright says, I did a couple of interviews with him. I don't know if you know who he is. Check him out on my interview section on my app or on my website. He says, we come here to experience that which we are not.
Yeah.
Because on the other side, if you think of a mango, you have a mango, right? Here, you have to really work at it. There's a delay. And so we come here with amnesia. Like if you came here and, you knew the 100% truth of the other side, you'd be bored. The object here, we don't need to learn new things. We need to remember. We're here trying to remember and experience and help other people remember. So that's my life goal, to help people wake up. And I created this app, which you talked about a little bit at the beginning. I want to show you a couple things on it. On the app, basically the first thing I put on it was the frequently asked questions. So when people say, what about gravity, or where does the sun go, or what about eclipses? All the information's here. Google is hiding all of this information for you. And I made it easy to access. I have the old world page, which I want to go back here. Sorry. Come on. The old world page. I did it again. I keep hitting the wrong button.
No problem. Take your time.
There you go. Old world page. You can search for videos without Google getting involved. All real good flat earth videos. I got some games on here. I got different languages, some playlists. We're expanding that area. I got the biblical section. So if you're looking for, now, if you believe in the Bible or you think the Bible's nonsense, you need to watch these videos. They'll blow your mind. This is the main section right here. But then there's some other stuff. I got a homeschool course. These are two school teachers that couldn't teach anymore because they realized they were teaching nonsense. And they started this online, worldwide homeschool called Creation Science. It's absolutely amazing. Check it out. Put your kids in there. It'll blow your mind. Even if they go to public school, put them in here so they can go back to school and get sent to the principal's office by challenging everything the teacher says.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
But I also have the friend finder, and let's look at Serbia. So I'll click the little flag there. Are you in Serbia? No, where are you?
I'm now in Vienna, Austria.
Austria.
At the moment, yeah.
Austria. Let's see how many people are in Austria. There's people. So here's Austria. Let it load. Oh, it's loading over here. Is that Austria? Oh, here we go.
All right. Oh,
These are all the people that have my app in Austria. Pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And so you can tap on somebody's profile thing, look at their profile, you can send them a message. You can set up meetups. I have a meetup maker, and then you set up a meetup, you put the address of the meetup, and everybody in here that's told their meetup maker to notify them when a meetup is happening within a certain radius of their position, they'll get an email telling them that there's a meetup.
All right, that's nice.
And I also made a dating section, because when you're awake and aware, if I click the dating section, it's hard to find somebody to talk to, right? So you want to find like-minded people. I say, okay, I want to find women between this age group within 1,000 miles, or I can make it less, whatever. And I'd done this before, and I favorited 19 of them. So I'll just show you. I'll hit the heart button up there, and I could flip through here and see these different women that are interested in finding a companion. Right? You can use it just as a friend finder too. Guys looking for girls, girls looking for guys.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I can send them a message. You can do video calls on here. You can do group video calls. There's all sorts of stuff. And it's pretty amazing app. The app costs $3. Oops. The app costs $3, one-time charge, but the higher functions like messaging people using the dating, a few of the other top features, you have to subscribe, and it's $11 US a year. Easy, speedy. $11 a year. But if you really, if you're crazy, go into the meetup, the friend finder section, click this middle button right here, and it brings you to your referral page. There'll be a random number here. Just change it with that pencil to something that you can remember. You change yours to Nino, whatever. And then anytime somebody goes, oh, that's a cool app, and they download it, it says, do you have a referral code? They put in Nino, and then you'll get a point. And if you get 11 points, you can cash it in for a year subscription.
All right.
Pretty cool. But, and also, if you put a crypto address in here, every time you get a point, you get 3 million right now Dome coins. Now, it's not worth much, worth a couple bucks. Yeah. But you get 3 million Dome coins, and who knows what's going to happen with that. But at least, again, if you're into crypto, cool. If you're not into crypto, this will let you practice creating wallets, transferring money without losing anything, because if you lose it all, you didn't pay for it anyway. So everybody relax. Again, so I do, there's so much stuff on this app to help.
And you all upload new stuff all the time, right?
Every day there's a new featured video here. So, if you don't have time to go looking through all of the crap that they're trying to feed you, we've done that for you. And every day there's a new featured video. So I have a challenge for people. I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. But before you waste my time, you have to watch this video every day for 2 weeks. So watch it while you're having your coffee. Watch the video every day for 2 weeks. And when you think you have a globe proof, which you won't, check the frequently asked questions page, make sure it's not answered, which it is, and then send me your proof, which you won't have. And you win 3 Bitcoins, which you won't win because the earth is flat. But if you think the earth is a globe, everything I just said is nonsense. Come take my Bitcoins. But I guarantee you it's not going to happen that way.
Guaranteed.
There you go. And you can get it at flatearthdave.com. It's only in the App Store, the Apple App Store, or the Google Play Store right now. But I am making a web-based version that'll work on any phone, any computer, any tablet. It works on tablets and phones right now, but the web-based version, hopefully in a couple months, will be out, and then you can just use it on any device. So it's awesome. It's waking people up, and when we wake everyone up, the whole world changes.
Of course. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you very much, Dave.
That's it. No more questions. We're good.
Well, I mean, I don't know how. Okay, we have time. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. All right. I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite flat Earth model, or you
Well,
don't want to
I
speculate on
believe
that?
in the circling sun on the Gleason's type map.
Yeah.
If I go into the images section here and I just type in map, whoops, another one. This is a map that was used. This is a map that was used, during wartime, right? And there's also this one shows. People go, well, how did Japan attack Hawaii,
Pearl
Harbor? Because on a Gleason on a Mercator map, it literally has to go like all the way across because it's a stupid map. It goes from here to there. It's easy, right there. That's how they did it.
Yeah, it's so simple.
Yeah.
So simple. A lot of people don't know about Iuta projection or Auta projection map. And I think that's the most accurate
Which one is that? I haven't
projection.
seen it.
You have to Google it. I will send it to you.
Send me an image of that map, and I will add it to the map section so everyone can see it. It'll be there
I will.
instantaneously.
You have to see that one.
Yeah.
And also,
Don't forget to send that to me. Send that to
I
me.
will.
Okay.
No, I promise I will send it to you. And I also think that's a little bit of a cognitive dissonance for some of the flat earth. Well, yeah, that's the one. That's the one where you can see Iuta projection, but I will show you Iuta projection is made in Japan, and they got an award for the most accurate map of the Earth.
Please send me that. I will add it to the app so people can look. Here's the thing, though. The Globers love looking up at the sun, looking up at the sky to prove the shape of the Earth. Well, everything we see in the sky, the only thing accurately we can say about any of the luminaries up there is their lights. We don't know how far they are. We don't know what they're made out of. We don't know how they work. We don't know anything other than their lights.
Yeah.
We're not a light, and we don't live in the sky. That's it. Our world is not moving. The sky is moving. The sky moves. So when people like to look up at the sky and say that proves the shape of the Earth, where's the curvature? Show me the curvature, right? Yeah. Everything works on a flat Earth, and most things don't work on a globe Earth.
Of course. But people like to point to the sky and say, yeah, you see, those are all balls in the sky, and we are the only one living on the flat Earth. I mean, that's stupid.
Go to any one of my interviews, and you'll see like on your channel, the trolls will show up, and they will comment on everyone's comment. They'll be like, Dave's a grifter, his app uses globe math, but just all of this nonsense. But this is what I want you to do. One, notice that they never offer a globe proof. They only offer insults and empty statements. Two,
so ignorant.
Their channels are empty. There's nothing on their channels. Empty, no subscribers, no content. Right? What's that about? Then go look at the pro Flat Earth comments. Look at their channels. Real people, real content, real lives. Why do we have so many bot channels attacking Flat Earth? Why don't we have bot channels supporting Flat Earth? Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, unbelievable. I have also a question for you, because you know these guys, and you did interviews with them and stuff like that. Tell me something about Jaren and Witsit Gets It. Like they were flat earthers for years, even though we saw Behind the Curve, where you saw Jaren like doing these videos for the opposition, so to say. But then he continued promoting flat Earth, and then all of the sudden, the final experiment where they faked the sun in the sky, and after so many years, Witsit posted it online, and then he pretty much disappeared right now. Like it looks like they finished their mission, so to say.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'll give you my point of view, and my point of view is I was friends with both of them. I mean, just online friends with Jaren. I've been to many conferences with Austin more than Jaren. Austin's super smart guy. Austin came back. He's still a flat earther. He's never said anything against flat Earth. We'll start with Austin.
Still,
The reason
yeah.
Austin disappeared is because he had some family issues. He had some financial issues. I don't think that's a secret. And he's literally just trying to deal with life. So that's what he's doing. He has some family issues. He has little kids. He has a wife. There's major issues in his family. That's why he's gone. It's not because he finished his mission.
Yeah, but
He's
then
actually coming back a little bit. He's been on Discord, which I don't look at. He's going to go live any day now. He's been saying it, but I think he's going to do more of a tell-all. So far, Whitsitt has done nothing against flat Earth. Now, Jaron, on the other hand, Jaron was one of the biggest flat earthers out there.
But then faking the sun in Antarctica, that's against flat Earth. I mean,
Yeah, well, hold on. Did they fake the sun, or was the sun faked in Antarctica and tricked them?
I mean,
Here's the thing. You got to take it from my point of view. My point of view. A lot of people say that I'm part of this TFE thing. I was the one that was supposed to go. That was designed for just me to go. And when I said, I don't deal with demons, I instantly sensed that this is demonic. This was a multi-year planned setup run by NASA, right? And I said, I don't want any part of this. Don't ever contact me again. And they tried for 6 months to get me to go. They tried influencers in my life. They tried everything to get me to go. And when I wouldn't go, they scrambled and they're like, well, I guess we'll go with the next one. And Jaron, and we're like, Jaron, don't go. We're like, don't go. And he goes, why? Free trip to Antarctica. He goes, I'm going to report what I see. That's okay. I get it. But like, what if they compromise you? He goes, well, I'm not going to go alone. Right? He was there. And so he goes, I want Austin to go with me. And they go, okay. All right. Boom. Another 40 grand. Right? That's weird. All right. Yeah. And then we said, what if they compromise you? And he said to a bunch of us, he said exact words. He goes, if I come back and say, Professor Dave and Simon Dan and Fight the Fat Shirt and, Mick Loser are great guys and start doing podcasts with them. And I also say that the moon landing is real. Know that I've been compromised. That's exactly what he's doing. So now what does that mean? Does that mean he got paid off? I think paying someone off is the worst way to compromise someone. If you threaten their financial future and their freedom and their family, that's how you threaten somebody, right? So Jaron had done some things that would definitely be construed as perverted. I'll just say that word. And they came to him and said, hey, you've sent these videos to underage women, and we need to do a home check, and we're going to need to take your kid into child protective custody for a year while we do this. That's scary. And then also they could threaten him. He did a lot of stuff with cryptocurrency, advising people on what to do. A lot of people lost money. Not his fault, in my opinion, but they could say you broke SEC rules and you're going to go to jail 25 years for each count. We have 150 counts.
They can do it to anybody.
But I think it's way worse than that. I think literally it's not the same person talking that left to go to Antarctica. Jaron doesn't look the same. He won't look into the camera. He always has his cap down like this so you can't see his eyes, right? And he looks different. On my channel, DITRH, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH, video, just a couple videos back. It's called Don't Feed the Archons. Watch that video. Right? And so I did a couple live streams on how they could fake the sun in the sky and trick the people that were there. And I have a whistleblower from Microsoft that said he's seen technology at Microsoft where they can project real life looking objects right in front of you in thin air that you would swear were physical. Right?
Of course, like blue beam projects.
Yeah, so if you believe in blue beam, do you think they could beam just a bright light in the sky and fool you? Especially if the ceiling is only at 18,000 feet. It's made of liquid crystal, perhaps. Maybe there's plasma. You got all sorts of things to work with to fool them. So hold on. I'm just going to finish this.
Yeah.
So if that was true, don't know. Don't have any proof. The number one guy in the world that would be best to run that technical operation is a guy that worked high up in Microsoft. And guess where he was during TFE? He was on vacation in Antarctica, right?
And
That's just a coincidence. Proves nothing. Proves nothing. The last point I was going to make is, what was the point? It was, I forget the point. It'll come to me. But here's the thing. If prior to TFE in 2014, we're like, there's no circling sun in Antarctica. I even said if the sun circles in Antarctica, that would prove the globe. But I was wrong because I didn't understand how the sky is metaphysical. I thought there was, right? But Joe Hanvey, a couple other people have made models where they show how a sun could circle using the dome reflectivity. Yeah. And they're actually very good models. But to say in a heliocentric world that the circling sun improves the shape of the Earth, now you have to prove that helium and hydrogen that defy gravity on Earth, defy gas laws, which are uncontained gas fills the available space, but in space, the helium and hydrogen collapses into a ball, turns into a nuclear furnace, burns 640 billion tons a minute or an hour or whatever it is, and never gets any smaller. It has so much mass that it holds on to Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus, but ignores our moon. And somehow that proves the shape of the Earth. That is just a scientific impossibility. So you have to buy into Narnia garbage, right? So whether there is a circling sun or not, I do not believe that there is. I also believe that those guys were fooled. They were fooled. They were tricked. And I think something very evil happened down there, right? I don't want to give away too much personal information, but when those guys, when those two came back, the same thing in their life happened in their family. That's all I want to say. It's weird. It's weird, okay. Right? And so you have to, people say, well, they were never in Antarctica. Well, I was supposed to go. So either I would have to be in on it, which you guys have no proof I'm not, but I know I'm not. So they would either be tricking me or worse. Maybe it wouldn't even be me here talking to you now.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Right. So there's my answer on that. That was a long one, but you asked.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, it is a complicated question. That's why it has to be a bit long.
I'm going to send you, anyone that's interested, that thinks the circling sun in Antarctica, I want you to realize that no scientific team, no universities, no one ever filmed the circling sun in Antarctica. In 2014, 2015, where big videos were kind of going viral about it. 2017, a guy named Anthony, I forget his name, released 3 or 4 videos. He's directly connected to NASA, I believe. And he produced 4 videos that show a circling sun, and they were all proven to be faked. All proven to be faked. I remember what I was going to say. I'll say in a second. They're all proven to be fake. So now, no videos. All of the webcams that we were looking at, and Jaron actually documented this. There was webcams that in Antarctica, in January or December, you'd watch a shadow of a pole go around, and then it would jump. It would skip 10 hours every time the sun would have set on a flat Earth. It would jump, and he contacted them. And they said, oh, we just do that for bandwidth.
Oh, right.
Like bandwidth. How about just download it, send someone home with a thumb drive, and let us see it for a week? Wouldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Right? So no one's ever documented it except a guy that claims to be a preacher. This is the important part. Will Duffy, the guy that organizes, claims to be a preacher in Denver, where his sermons every week in this little rundown church were filmed of just him. You never see the audience. You never hear a baby cry. You never hear a man cough. You never hear a door slam. It's just him. So they literally set this up for a year. It's where he's doing these sermons. A man that's in huge financial trouble, facing jail time, facing another $1 million in fines currently, all he cares about is settling the flat earth debate. He said, I learned about flat earth 3 years ago. Bullshit. He was the producer on a radio show for a guy named Bob Enyard for 10 years And the whole show was an anti-flat earth show. So liar, he says that lying is righteous. He's in huge financial trouble. And all he cares about is settling the flat earth debate. And he brings down the biggest scumbag anti-flat earth paid up propped shills to Antarctica, along with there was a girl they brought also, three people to be witnesses to an event. Now, listen, they faked the moon landing and the whole world was watching. Cameras, millions, billions of people, right? This was easy. They went to a deserted place. By the way, that camp, you have to book it, allegedly, 2 years in advance to go prime season. Prime season would be right around the solstice. Those guys went right before the solstice. And when they got there, nobody was there except staff. The place was empty. That's like going to Cancun, Mexico on February Christmas break or whatever, and no one's at the resort except the staff.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
And you saw how all these guys changed their minds. Like even Joe Rogan, he's huge, he he knew that the moon landing was staged.
No one will ever prove that will ever convince me the moon landing was real, was his statement. That was his go-to line. And then he came back, interviewed Neil deGrasse Tyson, totally cucked, and got a $200 million contract.
Yeah, right. And then he never mentioned it again. Now he's starting again a little bit, but it's all well controlled and everything. I mean,
at this point,
Eddie Bravo is cool. I like him a lot.
Yeah, at this point, though, everyone knows the moon landing was fake. So now they're just going to allow Joe to talk about what we already know. We'll let Joe talk about what we already know. I'm going to give you a link. I want you to link it and pin it in the first comment on your video. And this is my TFE playlist. And the first video is 7 minutes. It's about Will Duffy. I want you to watch, everyone listening to this, if you're interested in the Antarctica thing, watch this and tell me, would you trust this man? Would you trust this man? All right?
Yeah. Because so many people wrote me and called me and told me, you saw they went to Antarctica, they filmed the 24-hour sun, what's now with the flat earth and everything. Yeah. And then, I also had to make a video about it, and
Save that link I just sent you in the chat, and post that in the description or pinned comment, and into TFE. Watch this first video, and then there's a bunch of very long videos if you really want to get into it. Watch them, and we talk about all of the things. There's many ways, and that's what the last thing I want to tell you about that is. At that base camp, which I'm not even sure they went to the real base camp, it's mostly cloudy. It's cloudy 350, 60 days a year, right? And when they got there, the people that were just getting on the airplane leaving said, we've been here for 3 months. The sun hasn't peaked once in 3 months. Then they get there and it's friggin' blue, perfectly blue sky.
Yeah.
And Will goes, God just gave me a wish, It's, hello, people, wake up. You're being deceived. This is a NASA-run operation.
Of course. They don't even have red noses or something while there,
I think they were at a place that was very cold. Listen, you can go, if it's like 30 degrees, 18 degrees, you're outside for a little bit. I've been there. Watch Austin's live stream with Owen Benjamin. It looked like he was freezing his ass off. His coffee cup or his tea cup was steaming. His breath was steaming. I think other days it's warmer. I don't think Antarctica is cold as they tell us. No, but I think that they're in a place where it was cold. That's my opinion. I'm not people. When I pointed out that some of the arguments flat earthers were making on fakery were just bad arguments. People thought I was defending TFE. Like they sent a drone out and the drone was beeping. I have the same drone. When it's that low to the ground, it always beeps. Right? So they're like, that's a green screen. And I'm like, that's a bad argument. It's a bad argument.
Not all the arguments are right about it, Right. But it was fishy. Not fishy. It was staged 100%. So. Right.
Well, definitely. It was definitely staged. But how did they do it? I'm not 100% sure, but there are a bunch of, and it could be a multitude of things. So there you go.
few possibilities.
Yeah, but again, looking up at the sky, if there was a circling sun there, it just tells us how much we understand the sky. But the heliocentric explanation of a sun, which is gas in space, doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah, or even atmosphere next to the vacuum of space.
Yeah, but I mean, get a massive helium, go into space, it's going to violently disappear, right? You have a box of helium and hydrogen or oxygen or whatever in a room that has no air, a vacuum, put a hole in it, it'll violently escape, but the box will explode because it won't even be able to handle the pressure.
Of course.
How much helium and hydrogen do you need before it collapses and turns into a sun?
Yeah, that's
how much?
A stupid explanation.
It's a stupid. You can't even fathom it because it makes no sense.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not stupid. It's stupid, right? That's the problem. You're not stupid. It's stupid.
It's stupid, but you learn the wrong things in life, like all of us. I mean,
yeah.
A lot of people are asking me about the GPS and stuff.
GPS, the ground positioning system.
Ground position. Yeah, they say it's global positioning system, and it cannot work without satellites and stuff like that.
That's not true. But here's the thing. It works off of ground positions. I mean, there was a thing called LORAN before GPS, and then all of a sudden they just added graphics to it with high altitude photos, and it's the exact same system as LORAN. So the ground positioning system. The bigger question is Starlink. How does Starlink work, right? And I think that they use like a cell tower. The higher the cell tower is, the better it works, right?
Yeah.
The bigger area it has. So a cell tower is 800 feet tall. It's pretty cool. Top of a 1,000-foot building. Pretty cool. What if you can get a cell tower 5 miles in the sky? That would be amazing, right? What if I unplug the cell tower? Would it work?
Don't think so.
No. Needs power. Needs to be serviced, right?
Yeah.
So Starlink satellites are in space, supposedly. The closest they could be to you is 350 miles when they're directly above you, but they could be 700 miles when they're over there, right? So they don't have a power source. They're falling around the Earth that's spiraling through space in the heliocentric model. It doesn't make any sense. But what if you took that Starlink equipment and put it in the belly of every commercial airplane? Airplanes have Wi-Fi. They have connections. They have everything. But now they're telling you that the airplane's connecting you to the satellite 300, 400, 500 miles away, and then the satellite sends it down right past the airplane to a cell tower.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense, right? So cell towers can move just like a car can move through cell towers, and you relay your phone call from tower to tower to tower. I drove for 3 hours. I was on a phone call the whole way, and it never heard a click going from tower to tower to tower, right? So if the towers were moving and I was stationary, no problem. You got all of the airplanes up there. In the Vietnam War, American soldiers, the big story was they had these special radios that would connect to AWACS airplanes, and then they would relay the signal back to the United States. And that's how we could talk to them because they're so far over the curve of the Earth, right? So you look at the radio equipment that the Vietnam soldiers used and look at a Starlink receiver, they're the same equipment.
Yeah, the same thing.
It's the same thing. So I asked ChatGPT about this, and Chat said, well, that would really work well because you can service it. It's closer. It has a power source. Great. He goes, except if there's a big storm and they're diverting airplanes around it, then you'd have a hole in the coverage. I go, what if they just had high-flying military planes covering those storms? And they're like, that would be a more robust system. I said, would it cost more? It would cost a fraction of a percent of what it allegedly costs to put stuff in space.
Yeah.
And it would be more, and it would work. Right? And so last point on that is we have some military guys that live in the South Pacific, and they have Starlink service. And when they don't have Starlink service, they don't have any service. And these guys love tracking every flight in the sky, all the military flight, how many warplanes are in the sky. These guys keep track of everything. And one of the guys told me, he goes, when he sees the last plane, commercial or military, leave his area, he loses his Starlink service every time.
Really? All right. So
must be a coincidence, huh?
I mean, that's how it works then.
It has to work. If they don't do it that way, they're financially irresponsible.
Yeah, I mean, they film some lights in the sky and say that Starlink, but we don't know. Like, I mean, those are just some lights in the sky, like flying around, and I think it's much closer than what they tell us that it is.
Well,
Like,
the Starlink satellites are the size of a children's school desk, right? I've seen them. And sometimes I'll see one blink out for a minute and then it'll come back on. That's interesting. I'll tell you what I think it is. So
yeah.
These are tiny. Now, you ever look at a 747 on the ground? It's huge. Up in the sky, it's a tiny little, you can see, oh, I see the airplane. Can you make out the engines? No, I can't make out the engines. They're too small. You can fit a dozen Starlink satellites inside one engine, right? If I doubled the height of that airplane to 14 miles high, could you even see the airplane? The answer is no. So you couldn't see a 747 at 14 miles up. But we can see this tiny little friggin' satellite,
Yeah,
right? And these are reflecting sunlight. How does one of them go out? How does one of them go out? That's just looping. How does one of them go out and the other ones don't go out if they're reflecting sunlight? Interesting enough.
Yeah.
If you look up
the things that they are calling satellites, if there is something in the sky like that, they're hanging on balloons.
Well, there are
Like
a lot
NASA
of balloons, but I don't believe that those are doing Starlink service. I think that it's airplanes. You got a power source. You can service it. You can upgrade the equipment. So this is a fireworks replacement drone company, right? Guess what Elon Musk's brother bought? The largest fireworks replacing drone company, right? So they got this friggin' dragon in the sky. What if we turned off all of these drones except for one of these lines of white lights? You'd have something that looks like that, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people report when they see this line in the sky, they hear an airplane in front of it or behind it. So you got an airplane like a C-130 with the back open. Hey, this one reports its battery's running low. So they send another one out without the light on. It comes out, comes right into place. This one light goes off. The other one light goes on. And that one goes in for a battery change.
Crazy.
His
So
brother
Elon Musk is, of
bought
course,
the big, it's insane. You know, people are like, what about these asteroids falling out of the sky? Well, first, a lot of the videos are just fake. Second, they're dropping fireworks from the sky, things that are exploding, and people are like, oh my God, that was an asteroid. 3, they're dropping some sort of rock, explosive, whatever, from an airplane into a farmer's field. So everyone go, look, it hit the ground here. I filmed it, you know. They could have it, you know, it could be they have a rock that's a melted, meteor looking rock, a big one, and they coat it with phosphorus and all sorts of stuff, and they drop it from 70,000 feet and they ignite it at 20,000 feet, right? And everyone's like, oh my God, look at that. And then it crashes into a field. That's easy. That's easy.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it doesn't prove anything. I mean,
right.
What does it have
but
to do
then they show them, they're making weird turns, and now they're pushing the UFO thing. I mean, the amount of reported sightings by multiple people has more than doubled in the last year. In the last couple months, it's more than doubled.
Yeah, they're pushing it a lot.
They're pushing a lot. So something big's coming. Get ready. Make sure you have a lot of non-GMO popcorn because it's going to be a hell of a show. And don't feed in any fear. They want to make this the scariest thing ever. So these demons are going to come out and they're going to feed on so much loose energy, and then they're going to scare the crap out of people more. Don't buy into it. Don't buy into any of it.
No, I won't.
All right.
I hope people are waking up and they won't give them their Louch energy anymore.
That's all I got to say about that. FlatEarthDave.com. If you know the earth is flat, if you know that history is a lie, it is your responsibility to share it with everyone you know.
That's right.
All right, Nino. Thanks. David Weiss here. I've been taking Masterpiece for probably over a year, maybe even 2 years, and the detox I feel from it is amazing. I have never felt better in my life. I know that sounds like a lot, but I sleep better. I have amazing dreams when I take it at night. I take it twice a day most of the time, but sometimes I only take it once a day because I forget. But it's definitely an amazing product. And now with the new research they've done where it is literally getting rid of the nanotech in your body, I can't imagine not having any. So there you go. That's my testimony, and I love the stuff, and I'm never going to stop taking it.
The power of affirmations is transformative. When you repeat a thought, your mind listens. What you say consistently, your subconscious begins to accept. What it accepts, it starts to look for. And what it looks for, it begins to create. Daily affirmations train your mind to synchronize with these thoughts. Your focus shifts, your perception changes, your actions begin to align naturally. This is not pretending. This is conditioning your inner dialogue to work for you. Daily affirmations are now available on the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. To see all affirmations together, search Daily Affirmations. To focus on unconditional love, search love. For health and vitality, search health. And for abundance and prosperity, search wealth. Read these every day, out loud if you can. Then allow the process to work and watch how your life begins to transform.